Hi, everybody. It's Deborah. It's Thursday. It's time for the Heal, Thrive, Grow show. Great to see you here on Facebook. Really love being with you and helping you with your questions. So I'd like actually to start today by talking about the fact that this is the week when the light is the brightest. So let's talk about that for a minute, okay? And what do I mean by that? So there are actually 2 times a year when you'll find that you can connect with your higher self, that's your 8th chakra, and with spirit, that's much higher than that. And they are right now, this week, which is the week of June 21st, so we're still in that week, as well as December 21st, that week. And as I always teach, you can best connect these 2 times of the year. The ancients always knew this. That's why at Stonehenge, for example, there's a special rock that aligns you properly with the sun as it traverses the sky during this period of time. So it's about 7 to 10 days long. And that's why I'm still talking about it, even though today is June 29th. We're still in the week of the solstice. So the Bhagavad Gita, which is a very, very famous Hindu text that I speak from often, it talks about it a lot. And what you want to know, you personally, you, my Facebook friend, you want to know that out there you can best connect with your higher guidance and with guides this week, as well as the week of December 21st. So what happens is there's like a membrane that separates us from our spirit and our spirit world, and it's very thin at these 2 times of the year, and it's most easily accessible to you. So this is a great week for rituals. I was, over on Facebook a few days ago talking about swimming at dawn. This is a great time for that. Building a bonfire, any kind of ritual that works for you. Candles. Try to spend a lot of time outside right now. This week of the height of June. It's really the beginning of summer, isn't it? And see how much time you can spend outdoors. Really fill your well full of all of that good vibe that you get from Mother Earth at this time of year, and that will better allow you actually to connect to spirit. Same thing goes. I'll be preaching the same thing come December 21st. I'll be urging you to then meditate more, go within more. But this time of year, I urge you to go outside, to really go outside. Do whatever works for you, gardening, playing volleyball, skateboarding, whatever it might be. Mountain biking. Just think of all the fabulous things you can do outside right now. I'll remember here tomorrow when I go kayaking, I'll post a photo. I'll come onto Facebook and I'll throw a few photos on of myself kayaking in the early morning light. It's just such a magical time, isn't it? These long, long days of June. So really, enjoy yourself, and the light's going to diminish starting now. By August, you'll notice it, right? You'll notice the days are shorter. For those of you who are afflicted with a little bit of seasonal affective disorder, a little bit of SAD, that seasonal affective disorder, ask yourself if maybe that's something that affects you. Maybe you don't feel as cheery or happy in the wintertime. In fact, you might feel downright gloomy. Then you might have seasonal affective disorder. And here's what to do about that. Get yourself a light box. Just go online and order one, probably from someplace like Amazon, and get somebody to help you install it. Pick a place where you sit a lot, where you watch TV, where you write your book, where you do the dishes, could be anywhere. Pick a place where you tend to spend at least an hour a day. Even 2 hours is even better. And I recommend you start using it no later than August 1st. So this could be for you if you live in the Northern Hemisphere, or it could be for you no matter where you live if you're inclined to seasonal affective disorder. So some of us, me included, could possibly live in places like, God love it, like the state of Washington, or most of Northern Europe. I love being there in the summertime, but it's just too green, so I already know it rains a lot and that they have a lot of darker days. Some of us require a tremendous amount of sun. And if that's you, if you just don't feel cheerful without it, then move south And in the meantime, or even in addition to, get a light box. A light box has changed many a life for the better. And I haven't spoken on them in ages, so this is a good time to remember and think, I wonder if that's something, that would be really helpful for me. So Stonehenge, again, is, really tied to a date they call Midsummer's Eve. And their belief is the little folk could be seen. And, the sun rises over the heel stone, and it lands right in the center of the altar stone. I wrote about this in the blog this week, so if you're curious about it, you can go check out my blog at deborahking.com. I wrote all about this. So, the sun is a big factor in your life, not as big as the moon, by the way, which I will speak on soon, but it's a big factor in your life. I want you to ask yourself if you're inclined to be too competitive. If you're inclined to be too competitive, you might have too much heat in your body. If that's you, you're the Pitta type, that's the type that has a lot of fire in the body. I would suggest that starting right now, you'd start thinking cooling thoughts. That would include not going out in the hot summer sun, but always early morning and late evening. Right after the sun comes up, time for you to, go under a tree or indoors. Same thing, at the end of the day, go back outside. But if you're inclined to be overly competitive, if you're inclined to be argumentative, if you feel kind of belligerent, if you just feel hot, then your fire quality, your pitta, your fire element may already be a little bit high, and it's only June. So the pitta season follows the sun. Starts depends on where you live. If you live in Southern California, could start as early as May. If you live in Canada, it might start a little later, depends on where you live, but certainly runs all the way through September, and in the Southern Hemisphere runs all the way into the late fall, into almost November. People who have a lot of that fire quality have a certain look to them. That could be you. I have a lot of pitta. Pitta people tend to be good speakers, they're good salespeople, they're enthusiastic, they are persuasive. If I'm describing you, then you want to stay cool in the summer. You don't want to overheat, especially as you get pushing up a little bit and get in your 30s and your 40s. You don't want to get too hot. This especially applies to women, by the way, who are premenopausal. You don't want to get too hot because it'll make your menopause a lot harder to endure. You just don't want to be storing a lot of heat in your body. So ways to get it out if you think you've gotten too hot would be to stick to swimming as a sport, keep yourself nice and cool, to think cool foods and cool drinks. Notice I didn't say icy. I'm not talking about ice water, which stops your digestion. I'm talking about cooler foods like salads, cooler drinks, not hot tea in the summertime, probably not for just about anybody, really. Cool thoughts. You don't want to have a big fight with somebody. It's just going to, as you know, completely overheat your whole system. So think cool, think peaceful, walk by bodies of water in the moonlight. It's one of the best ways to reduce the heat in your body. I'll repeat that. This is a terrific tip for you. Is walk by bodies of water in the moonlight. Okay, that's a great way to manage your fire element, manage your pitta, as well as reduce it. Again, it's a wonderful quality to have. It makes you exciting and charismatic. And again, typically actors, lawyers, salespeople, these are all real strong fire people, strong pitta folk. So it's a wonderful element to have. You just don't want it to get out of control, because when it gets out of control, you'll feel like you're speeding around too fast, not enough time for anything. You'll be on overdrive all the time. Wears your body out. Your speech will be rushed. You will be impatient, incredibly impatient and irritable. And that means your pitta is completely unhinged, or as they say in Ayurveda, deranged. So for those of us who are pitta folk, we have to be careful in the summertime. We have to keep our heat down. So I wouldn't think of being outside in the direct sun after, say, 8:30, 9 a.m., and I wouldn't go back out in the direct sun until probably after 6:30 p.m. on a June day. I would be more interested in swimming as a sport than just about anything else if the sun was out. And I would stay away from anything that would stir up a lot of hot emotions, like your family. Okay, and stay away from them. Seriously. Remember, you're not married to your family. You are possibly married to a partner or married to a passion, like I am, to helping others. You can be married to those things, but don't feel like you're married to your family. If they're a pain in the neck or a pain somewhere else, just disconnect yourself, okay? No need to endure that. Think outside the box and say to yourself, why in the world do I feel like I need to please them? Maybe they're not the right thing for you at this point in your life, or maybe ever. So I want to encourage you to think outside the box when it comes to family. It's one of the biggest sources of hot emotions and unhappiness that I can name. All right. So again, it's the week of summer solstice. I want to encourage you to get outdoors. Hey, not now, when, right? All right, let's take some fun callers. And we have Eva here. Eva, I'll see. Remember, you have to use Crowdcast, you guys. So let's see if Eva can join me. And I'm inviting you, Eva. Give you a minute to see if you can join me with your question. Eva's accepting and connecting, so it'd be great to see Eva. Hey, Eva.
Hi, Deborah. How are you?
What city are you
in? New York City.
Okay.
I'm bothering you a bit with a question because I'm in your Be a Modern Master course. That's my second year. And since the last session, I suppose many other people mentioned the same in their comments. And I felt a certain kind of movement in my energy field, and I suppose I was clearing things because you also channeled the fire of the Pentecost for us. And I could feel this.
That's right, I did. Well, here's what I see. You're very Vata right now. That's your main predominant dosha. I'm talking Ayurveda, you guys. So she's strong in Vata. I would encourage you to get even more time outside than someone else. So I know I was just talking about it, but for you, it's imperative that you get outdoors quite a bit right now to balance yourself. Does that make sense?
Yes, because I started to feel very well like an hour ago, and it was quite intense, and I never experienced that, and I knew it was energy related, but I didn't know exactly what. So I kind of, I thank my soul siblings because they voted me, so I could get in touch with you. So it is just about, I thought it was related to grounding. And I'm doing grounding work every day, and I'm out daily, like at least an hour. This is why I was surprised to see this happening, because I was quite a good student on the grounding level. And
Okay. So that was just one of those little glitches, and now our next caller is from Singapore. We're going to try to bring in Audrey. So let's see, Audrey, if you can join me. I'll give you a minute. Audrey, do you see the invite? I'm going to reprompt your invite. Remember, you guys, you have to be on Crowdcast, and you have to be on Chrome. You have to be on the Chrome browser. Okay, I'm not sure Audrey's on Chrome, so how about Celine? Celine, are you able to join me on video? Give Celine a chance here. We'll give everybody just a minute to connect. It looks like Celine is connecting. Here she comes. Pretty sunflower, Celine. Hi there. Good to see you.
Hi, good to see you.
And what's your question, Celine?
I had a question regarding, well, I've had an issue with driving since 2002, and I've done a lot of things, therapy, medication, energy healing, and it's just still not, I still have this fear and that hasn't gone away, and panic attacks have subsided, but I just, yeah. And I just don't know what else I should be doing. I don't know if I'm just kind of tired of the situation.
What was the event, Celine, that occurred that started the panic attacks?
I'm not positive if it was one event, but within like a year around that time, we lost our home and had to move like 2 or 3 times within a short period of time. I had a very severe allergic reaction where I had to go to the hospital and have a shot. My husband started a brand new job.
I think you've zeroed in on it. I think it was the loss of the home. Your energy field compressed when you said that. That's very disturbing, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, very disturbing.
It was very difficult.
Very. And what I'm doing right now is I'm using energy and intentionality to heal that, because that's your core wound. For you personally, that was the core wound. And everything else is kind of like icing on the cake, you know.
Just add it on top.
So I would urge you to support the change in your energy field that's occurring, that I'm seeing right now, that's a good change. I would urge you to journal a little bit about how you felt, what your emotions were when you lost your home. And that way you can better help me as it exits your energy field, because you don't need these emotions. You don't need this to be a live experience anymore. You need to just store it, you know, as your history.
Right.
See it as something that isn't going to happen again.
Right.
It's just historical for you. And that will really put a damper on the panic attacks.
Okay. Yeah, because I haven't really thought about it. It's been 15 years, but I guess it's still there.
Yeah, it can happen though.
Okay, thank you. That makes a lot of sense.
I'll tell you a little story. My husband and I had a terrible mountain climbing accident, and I thought I had gotten a lot of help and dealt with it. And 10 years later, I was watching the news on television, and there was an earthquake in San Francisco, maybe 3 or 4 hours from where I was. Pretty good size earthquake. But I was so startled by an earthquake a long ways away that it threw me into a panic mode. What it did was it somehow re-triggered a mountain climbing accident. You see, and they're of course not related. And so you understand that anything that strikes fear in you can re-trigger this stored fear. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, because I've had a lot of other traumas after and before, and that totally, that makes sense.
So what I just worked on was the stored experience of the home loss. and I kind of went into that box and I emptied it.
Okay.
And so you can support that emptying of that experience out of your field by just journaling. Just even 5 minutes might be enough about how devastating you felt. It's a big loss to lose a home. It uproots our base chakra and makes us feel like we're not connected to the earth. Okay?
Right.
Very nice seeing you.
Okay, great.
Thanks
Thank
for
you so
coming up.
much. Thank you. Nice seeing you. Thank you.
Let me take some questions I see over here in the chat window. Great to see you guys, as always. I see that Jen has a stormy Pitta sister. Wasn't that lovely, Jen? I applaud your very cool and calm handling of all of that. But I saw a question I wanted to do. Molly Sear says, on the subject of family, what do we do about obligations like showers and everyone expects you to attend, and how do you get out of it? Well, one way, Molly, is you just have such a busy life, I know, and so you're just way too busy, and you send your regards and a gift, of course, and that's the end of that. I wouldn't urge you to put yourself in a situation where you're going to be uncomfortable and miserable. And that can so often be the case, can't it, for family? And scrolling on down farther, I see a lot of people are supporting Molly and concurring in those kinds of experiences. I see my friend Mary Ellen from Oakland, California. So say hello to you, Mary Ellen. Great to see you guys. You know, you can stick your questions over here. I will try to catch up with them here. Retta says she'd love to talk about initiating to the 3rd level. And she says she thinks she's the Ayurvedic fire type, but loves spending all day outside in the sun, even in Bakersfield where it's over 100. Oh my goodness. No, don't do that, Retta. You're cooking yourself. And yes, of course, you're 2 types. So she wants to know, are we 1 or 2 types? Well, there are 3 major types. There's the air or Vata type, and then the fire or Pitta type that I was talking about earlier. And then there is the earth or Kapha type. And everyone is born with a combination of these elements. And your combination doesn't change over time. It's set in stone. For you, it's part of your body and part of your psyche. So it's a psycho-physiological type. It's both psyche and physical. And so that's why we're so miserable in our minds and in our emotions when we throw our body type out of whack. So for example, when we get too hot, we get super irritable and super rushed. And if we get too out of balance in our air quality, we get super anxious and tend toward panic attacks, for example, or can't sleep, you get insomnia. And if you get your kapha all out of whack, you tend to get weight problems and depression. That's what your kapha friends have when they get your earth element gets out of sync. So the key, of course, is to keep all 3 elements balanced. And the Ayurveda teaches us that it's a daily thing, it's a seasonal thing, it's a yearly thing. So your elements go up and down depending on the weather, what you eat, time of year it is, and your activities, as well as your thoughts. And so you know when you don't feel balanced, right? You just don't feel okay. You feel out of sorts. You feel disconnected. You might feel depressed. You might feel anxious. But you know how you feel when you don't feel like you, the you want to feel like. So again, you want to be conscious of the time of year. You want to be conscious in the fall of not being out in the wind too much. In the winter, not getting overly chilled. And in the spring, not too wet. And in the summer, not too hot. So no matter what type you are, those are kind of things you need to be conscious of. So I'm forever, without thinking about it, teaching Ayurveda. I still love it. It's such an amazing, isn't it? Preventative health system. So it helps us stay healthy so we don't get sick. So you will find I'm often lapsing into Ayurveda. So scrolling down, I'm looking for somebody who can join me up here on the video screen. And Here's a good call from a gal named Deborah, who's from Kingston, Washington. Deborah, I wonder if you can join me. I'll give Deborah a minute. Deborah, here you come. Hi there.
Hello.
Hi. Am I going to see the real Deborah? That's your avatar.
Oh, I don't know why my
Camera. You have to probably have to. Says we're waiting for you to reconnect, Deborah. Here you come. Well, tell me your question. Your camera may not be behaving today.
yeah. Well, okay. So originally I had the question of went through some crazy, probably these pizza feelings that you were talking about. But what happened was I've been taking your course. I felt absolutely amazing. And then the past week and a half, I felt
Which
absolutely.
course are you taking, Deborah? The Modern Math class?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Oops, I think we just lost Deborah. Here she comes.
there I am.
Oh, there's the real Deborah. Hi there.
Hello.
Hello.
Then I felt absolutely horrible, and something happened, and it triggered all of this stuff that had happened years and years ago. I'm talking like 12 years ago, when we had lost our house, and we went through some relationship problems. It was crazy. And I was to the point yesterday that my stomach was doing so many flips. I was feeling, I don't even want to say irritable. It was just not a good feeling. And I knew yesterday, though, I knew after I did the 12th chakra meditation
that we did.
Yeah, I still felt those feelings.
Can I help you track them? Because I think they're coming from inside you, from a personal situation you're having.
Yeah, well, I feel great today. So I don't know if that totally dissolved it, because I did the 12th chakra. I did that meditation twice.
Excellent. But can you tell everybody what was the situation that you were troubled by?
Yeah, absolutely. The current one or the one that was triggered?
Both.
Okay. Being very vulnerable here, you guys. This is really hard for you to talk about. During the recession, my husband and I lost our dream house along with like 10 other houses. During that time, my husband also lost his job. And of course I did mine, because I was investing in real estate. And so everything was gone. We were this close to being on the streets. And I went to a coaching event, believe it or not. I was like, I can do this. And I was gone for a couple of nights. And like I said, I can't believe I'm sharing this with the world, but I am. And my husband, who I absolutely adore and love dearly, so please, no bad feelings out there. Stuff happens. He did go out, and he found a not so good way to fill himself up, to make himself feel better. And woo, thought I was gone. Sorry, thought I was gone.
Did he get involved with someone?
Yeah, it was one night. Absolutely, one night.
But it was a beautiful time, Deborah. It's unbelievable.
That was yeah. And the crazy part about this, it was one night. I mean, we both were. I mean, trust me, there's no blaming on any way, shape, or form.
But
he did get a girl pregnant that one night. Oh. So we know from our conversation before that was something that, I had been trying to do for years. And we came together and we took the girl and we went and got her help and did all that whole thing and made sure she was okay. We did it together as a team.
Wonderful.
And it was really, really crazy. It took me a couple years to get over all of this. This was a long time ago. I mean, we've been married for 24 years, and a couple weeks ago, I had found out that just, he has friends that are girls. That is not a big deal. That's not a problem for me. But he had somebody that he rides the bus with and they text back and forth. It shouldn't have been a big deal. But for whatever reason,
Triggered it.
in me, yeah. And I'm telling you, from your call, I was trying to respond in a much different way. And I learned that from you. I think you had said something, take yourself out of the situation, look at it with more curiosity and learn more about yourself. And I was like,
Wow.
I got this. I got this.
Enlightened view that you're very higher consciousness. So
Well,
look at what a great job you're doing teaching, Deborah. I mean, there isn't one of us on the call that hasn't had a similar experience. So your ability to do this is remarkable.
Well, thank you. And it's coming from you and helping me along. And I'm really looking for a long future learning from you and helping me take those gifts and be able to give them out to the world again. That's really, really important. And because I believe what I'm learning, I need to give back. And it's so profound right now. What ended up happening yesterday, you know, this has been going on for a couple of weeks, but yesterday, I think you had talked about it, like I was so connected, so intense, my stomach was doing so many flip-flops, and I was trying to act rational, but there was no stop in the mouth. It just, sorry, so not so good on my part, because it didn't happen yesterday, it didn't happen, and I really felt like I was like, oh my God, I'm pushing my
Yeah, but I think that's very, you're being too hard on yourself. So let's really decompress the self criticism, because you are very much in the light. You are always taking the high road, and you know, bottom line, you are human. Yeah. So, yeah. No. My hat's off to you, and I think you're very brave to talk about it, and you're helping so many people on this call right now.
Well, just so you know, outside of maybe one or two people, nobody knows about this. So, there we go. So, and to end this story, sorry, I don't mean to take up so much time, because what I really wanted to ask you about was psychic abilities. After I'm like, oh, I got this. Let's go on to this. But what ended up happening was I told my husband last night, I'm like, I'm being really unfair here. Just I process things different than you. And we talked about all of it, which was so good. He's like, you've been processing for a bit too long. I'm like, just give me time. I said, I swear to goodness, it'll be gone tomorrow. And I didn't know how I knew that today when I woke up that it would be gone.
Wonderful.
Oh, obviously not gone completely, but
it's gone enough. Not enough.
Yeah.
I want to answer your question. You're very developed spiritually. You are getting even more developed hanging out with me on my BMR master course. Yeah, no, I want to really compliment you.
Thank you.
Very much in the light, Deborah.
Thank you.
You're going to do some amazing things helping people as you continue to progress. You're going to be quite a guide for many.
Thank you so much. And I really wish that I could be with you in July, but with everything that's going on with my little brother right now, I'm going to have that, my horrible word of wait. I'm like, never say wait, but I am going to have to wait. So I will connect with you guys and see like what the next best step or the next best training is to do in between now and doing level 4. So I would love to know that.
All right. Well, keep me posted. All right.
Okay.
Take care.
Okay. Thank you.
Wasn't that great hearing Deborah share? And she's just so full of light. So that was really, I know, helpful to so many, many of you. You know, there's nothing like, you know, when I was a young, a very young teacher, I used to teach about how we are still a tribe, and here we are, a tribe on Facebook. We're all sharing our stories and healing ourselves and healing one another. That's what it's all about. So back to, we'll take another caller here. And I'd like to see if I can chat with Debbie from Seaside, Oregon. Debbie, can you join me on video? Let's see how that invitation goes. Sounds like she's coming. She's someone who works with animals, so I would love to help her become more active. Debbie, are you able to fire up your camera there and come join me?
There we go.
Hey, you're in Seaside, Oregon.
Hi. Yes, yes.
Great to see you, and thanks for coming. So tell everybody what you do.
In 2003, I was certified to do hands-on shiatsu for horses and their riders. And over the years, I've actually expanded my healing repertoire, and it was through a series of guided accidents, I suppose. I began pushing the bubble between the distance that I could get between me and the animals. It began with my own veteran horse to begin with, and we just kept playing and pushing it. And then in 2015, I had a really close friend who has mules, and she sent me a photo. I had healed her club-footed foxtrotter mare years before. And she said, hey, I know we're 2,200 miles apart, but this is what's going on with my mule. He looks explosive. Can you help me? She sent me photos. And what I did was I energetically reached out and I went over the exact meridians that I would do if I were hands-on with Buddy. What I discovered with him was a severe issue with his back and the vertebrae where pretty much the saddle sits and where my friend is, was a knot, a lump on the vertebrae itself. And so I energetically worked on it, and Buddy was a tough case. He did take a lot longer to come around, but the lump resolved. It completely went away, and I began working with other animals. She instantly had a friend who had a calf that was lame. Poor little guy. He was only 6 weeks old. He'd already lost his mother, and now he was three-legged lame, and so they were trying to keep him for a breeding bull. And I just kept pushing and reaching the envelope out. And
So overall,
what I did was
overall, Debbie, how does it work as a business? Is that your question?
My main thing is I do have a few paying clients. My husband and I'm trying to turn this into more of a business because healing animals is my passion. I love it. And I would like to transition so that I can pay my bills.
And does your husband have a job out of the house?
No, actually, we're self-employed. We grow mushroom kits that we sell on our farm here in Seaside. We've been, they're a lot of fun.
And that is enough, or you're looking for more?
I am looking for more. When we bought the farm, we took on 2 riding horses from the previous owner, and so resources are stretched a bit thin. And I would certainly like to be able to.
Here's a couple suggestions. I've had a couple of lifetimes in the animal kingdom. I've lived with horses for a long time, so I'm very acquainted with horse barns. Horse barns are always looking for people to come in and work on their animals. Not the barn isn't; it's the individual rider.
Owners. Yeah. Yeah,
individual horse owner. And so you do shiatsu, and what was your other technique?
Actually, it is shiatsu for a horse and rider. Yeah.
Yeah, boy, if you can get the word out, I would start looking for chat rooms online. I would start. Do you have a Facebook page?
I do. Yes.
I would turn it into all about you and the different pictures of you with different animals. Get some success stories. Get people to write a few posts in there about successes.
I actually do have that. I've got a website that's already set up, and I've already got a complete testimonial page. I've actually healed animals as far away as South Wales, believe it or not. So the distance healing definitely works.
obviously work remotely. I'm sensing that there's quite a vocation for you online.
Okay.
And you just mentioned that, going online remote healing.
That has always been one of my biggest angst, is that typically there is too much distance between me and the animal. I love doing hands-on, but some of my problem was I would drive 5 hours one way just to heal an animal, hands-on, and turn around and come home. And of course it would be a chronic situation, and then I'd have to be coaching the person over email how to do it hands-on. So this progressed to remote healing.
There's a huge need. There's a huge need for people of your skill set and the caliber of you personally. I just want to encourage you to get your marketing out there so people know you're available.
So just keep promoting the Facebook page then. That's connected with it.
And also locally, so both remotely and locally.
Okay.
Think big and really expand your reach. So
I'm really keen on giving my try at doing group healings with rescues. But there again, it's the difficulty of, I adore what I do, but I do need that energy flow back in the form of money in order to keep my own animals healthy and fed.
Right. My last suggestion would be to do some work, self-work, to prepare yourself to open higher chakras, because that will immediately attract people to you, because you'll be able to do such amazing work.
Thank you.
Yeah, so work on yourself at the same time. I just want to really compliment you on your efforts to help our dear friends, our animals.
I love it. There really is nothing else that compares.
No, nothing compares. I have to agree. Well, great talking with you, Debbie. Thank you so much.
Thank you for taking my call today.
Stay connected.
Thank you.
That really takes me back. I used to have such a menagerie. I used to have so many animals. Oh my goodness. And I would have loved somebody of Debbie's caliber that I could have gotten in touch with to help me, because you really want help when your animal's suffering. How about Mahela in where are you? You're in Brisbane, Australia. Can you join me? I guess it's morning in Brisbane, huh? Mahela, can you? I'm going to reprompt you and see if you can come up. You can join me. We'll give her a minute. So the platform's behaving itself today, isn't it? Makes it a lot easier. I see some good ideas over here. I see Susan is suggesting that Debbie also connect with her local animal shelters. I think that's a great idea. It doesn't look like Mahela is going to be able to activate her camera. So how about let's see here. Sion, can you join me? If you're on the screen, and while Sion is coming, let's see, accepting and connecting. See, lots of my students are here. Shirley Holzinger, hi Shirley. Looking forward to seeing you next week at Ojai. So while we're waiting for Sion, hi Sion.
Hello, how are you?
Great to see you. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, what's your question?
So lately I've been really feeling the calling to step back into sharing divine love with the world. I've had to do a lot of work. And in the past, when I've done energy healing on people, because I get into my head a lot, I try to just allow the divine to work through me and just to work that way. But I'm wondering, is that the right way for me to do it? Because I am going through your Life Force Energy Healing course. I started it a long time ago, but then I had children and it just all stopped for me.
Right.
So I'm going through it again. So, yeah.
So you broke up a little bit. I didn't quite hear the heart of your question.
Just the fact that in the past when I work on people energetically, I just allow spirit to work through me. And I'm wondering if that's okay for me to do.
Yes, it's fine. I'd like for you to be even getting more techniques, more refinements, more training. But you have you're a natural born healer, so you have all kinds of natural talent. And I hear little ones in the background, right?
Yeah.
You can naturally work with your kids, of course, and you know, every parent knows that. They lay hands on immediately when the child doesn't feel well or is upset. So see, we have this natural ability to heal others, and yours is very strong, Zion. So good for you. What city are you in?
Sydney, Australia.
Yeah, you go for it. You got all kinds of, look at your little one, how cute. No, keep up all the solid work and keep training. Natural ability.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Glad you could come. You take care.
You too.
And I'll take a few questions here from people who can't, who don't have their camera active or haven't figured out how to get over here on Chrome. And let's see here. One of our callers, Dennis, wants to know if it's okay if he has a smile on his face during meditation. Absolutely, Dennis, you go for it. It just means you're feeling pretty cheery. And he says, what about doing your hands-on healing chelation technique on children? Here's sort of the standard kind of rules of thumb, Dennis, for working with kids. First of all, your own children, always, of course. You don't need permission for that. But on someone else's children, you need their parent present, and you need their parent okaying it. And then if the child's over 7, you need the child to say yes to it. Pretty much 7, maybe a little bit younger for some kids. They might, if the child, you know, exhibits any reluctance, then of course you would pause. So I'll just go back over that. Fine on your own kids, but for somebody else's kids, you need the parents okay, and you need them present. And if the child's over 7, you also need their authorization. They're saying it's all right. And the specific technique Dennis asked about is one that I teach in my Life Force Energy Healing Level 1 class. It's about the most basic technique I teach. It's kind of like Healing 101, but boy, it's a really good one. It works really well. People always love it. They not only love to give it, but they love to receive it because it's a way of sharing our love and our energy with others, and it heals us as the energy comes through us on our way to our subject, to the child or the person that you're chelating. You will find the energy just comes through you and makes you feel absolutely splendid. So it's I remember I still remember the first time I ever did it. I was like, wow, this is great. It's pretty nice. So, Karen from Corvallis, Oregon says, hello, I feel called to heal and help others. And when I fully think of it, I get tears of joy. Well, that's wonderful, Karen. That was what I was just saying. She said, I had a past trauma from when my son was abducted by his father and taken to Brazil when he was 4. My son is back here now, but do I have a block from this? Karen, I'm not seeing a block from that. You look really clear to me. So it feels like you're past that. All right. And I see you were also looking for ways to learn how to speak. One of the best places to do that is to join my Life Force Energy Healing course, where if you ask people around, they'll tell you I get you speaking pretty fast, pretty painlessly, because of course I used to have such issues with that, and I love teaching people how to forget about themselves and just be excited about what they want to communicate. Pretty soon you find out you're really comfortable and don't even need notes. Susan says, thank you for your wonderful Be a Modern Master course that you're teaching right now. I'm loving it. What other courses do you offer, and where can I find out more about them? I live in Wildflower, Florida. And she works with Clearing Ancestry. So Susan, great to have you. I wonder if I can bring you up. Let me see if I can, because I could answer the question better if I could see you. That's why I love this new, my new show that's here, because it's so great to be able to connect with you guys and see you and not just hear your voice. So we'll look up here and see if Susan can come. She's accepting and coming on up. So that would be great, Susan, to see you. Give her a minute. I see some of my students over here advising my level 4 and 5 students. Good for you guys for chiming in and teaching. Hi, Susan.
Hello, Deborah.
Great to see you. Tell us again what your question is.
I would like to know if, well, somebody actually gave me the link to your other website so I can check out your great courses. I'm loving the Modern Masters course.
Wonderful.
And I was wondering if there's anything that you could suggest for me to expand more my connection and abilities.
Just look up for a minute. There you go. You are very connected, and you have advanced abilities. Is this the first time you've taken my Modern Master course? This is the second year I've offered it.
No, it is the first time. It's was very interested in the sutras because the other stuff that I do, the ancestral clearing, is very based on the sutras, and yeah, I just wanted to.
No, you're very open and very connected. I would love to work with you in my level 4 class.
Level 4 class.
Which starts again, what city are you in?
I'm in Florida, the Villages.
It starts again, I'll be sending some invitations out. It's by invitation, and I'll be sending invites out here in about a week. It starts on at the end of August.
Oh, that would be perfect.
It's a very small group. It's where I work personally with people, and you have all kinds of talent. I would love to help you develop. You will be teaching, but it feels international in scope. Like you're going to be teaching online, perhaps. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much. How would I? Should I just keep checking your website for the level 4, or how would I?
No, it won't end up there. It's because it's by invitation only. I would drop me an email through, come to the website and drop a note in, contact us, and tell the office that Deborah said I'd be perfect for level 4.
Thank you so very much. Very kind of you.
That way you'll get added to the list.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's and great having you ask that question, Susan. It's the only place I work with people, and you would be so good. You would become a major teacher. So hope you can join me. All right.
I hope so too. I really do.
Stay out in the heat now in Florida. It's pretty darn hot.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be traveling, so that's great that your course starts in August.
Take care. Great connecting with Susan, and with all of you, by the way, who traipse over here for my Be a Modern Master course. I'll tell people what that is. That's a class that I started teaching for Mind Valley last summer, and it was so popular they asked me to come back and teach it again this summer. It has 1 week left, and it's a 6-week class where I teach a very, very advanced meditation technique, as well as a lot of other things. So for example, this week I taught all about, I've been teaching all about initiations for a while, which are step-ups in your energy field, expanding and then making you the best version of you you could ever imagine, and the one you were intending to be when you incarnated and came here. And so it helps you develop whatever talents you're meant to develop, and you probably have a sense of those talents. You know, maybe you suspect you're meant to be a world-class writer or a speaker or some other person that brings new energy out to our very troubled world, and it helps you to develop paranormal gifts, and I mean, it just really ramps you up. So that's what that class is all about, and I'm sure Mind Valley will be offering it again here soon for those of you who missed it. So we're almost out of time. I see all sorts of comments here. It's great for all of you guys to come from around the world. I love meeting with you here. Next week, I'm going to be teaching my level 4s and level 5s in person in Ojai. So we have 2 retreats a year where I meet with these students, and I'll be actually meeting with them in Ojai, which is this magical place not too far from Los Angeles, but very remote in a way, and it's one of my favorite places of all to teach. So I'm going to see if I can't figure out how to still be here on Facebook next Thursday at 5 Eastern. I'm going to talk to the hotel about that and see if I can't still bring it live to you, and you can take a peek at our level 4 doings, and we'll tell you all about Ojai and what an incredible place it is. So great being with you. I really enjoy spending this hour with you, and until I see you again, you take care.